I never believed in fate or destiny. I always thought coincidences were just that, random events that our brains try to connect because we hate chaos. We want patterns, even where none exist. I don't think that anymore. It started when I was cleaning out my grandmother's house after she passed. She had lived in the same small town for 70 years, raised 4 kids there, buried my grandfather there. The house was full of memories, photo albums dating back to the 1950s, boxes of old letters, vintage Christmas decorations that smelled like dust and nostalgia. I was going through a shoebox of family photos when I found the first one. It was a picture of me at my 5th birthday party. I remember that day clearly. It was at the local park. My mom had rented one of those bounce houses, and I was wearing my favorite Batman costume. But what I didn't remember was the man in the background. He was standing by the tree line, maybe 30 feet behind the picnic table where I was blowing out candles. Tall, thin, wearing a dark jacket despite it being July. His face was partially obscured by shadow, but I could see he was looking directly at the camera, at me. I stared at that photo for a long time, trying to remember if he was someone's dad, maybe a park employee, but something felt wrong about him. He wasn't dressed for a kid's party. He wasn't talking to anyone. He was just watching. I told myself it was nothing. Parks are public spaces. Maybe he was just passing through. But then I found the second photo. This one was from my first day of school. My mom had snapped it as I walked toward the school entrance, backpack bigger than I was, looking nervous and excited. And there he was again. Same man, same dark jacket, standing across the street from the school, just watching. My hands started shaking as I dug deeper into the box. Photo after photo, spanning years of my childhood. My 7th birthday at Chuck E. Cheese. He was visible through the window, standing in the parking lot. My Little League baseball game when I was 9. He was in the bleachers, 3 rows up, while all the other adults were cheering and taking pictures. He was just sitting there, perfectly still, watching me. A school Christmas play when I was 10. My family vacation to the beach when I was 11. My middle school graduation when I was 13. He was in every single photo where I was the main subject. Always in the background, always watching, always alone. I called my mom immediately. "Mom, do you remember a man who used to show up at my school events? Tall, thin, always wore a dark jacket?" There was a long pause. "What kind of man, honey?" "I'm looking at old photos, and there's this guy in the background of almost every picture of me as a kid. He's always just there, watching." Another pause, longer this time. "Can you describe him more specifically?" I looked at the photos again, squinting at his shadowy figure. I can't really see his face clearly in any of these. The lighting is always wrong, or he's too far away, or something is covering part of his face, but it's definitely the same person. Same build, same posture, same jacket. "Honey, I don't remember anyone like that. And trust me, if there had been a strange man showing up at your events, I would have noticed. I would have called the police." But the photos don't lie. He was there. I spent the next 3 hours going through every photo album in my grandmother's house. The pattern continued through my teenage years, but less frequently. My high school graduation, he was there, standing behind the crowd of families. My prom photos, He was visible in the background of one shot my date's mom took outside the hotel. Then, suddenly, nothing. College photos, my wedding pictures, photos of my own kids, he wasn't in any of them. It was like he had simply vanished from my life when I turned 18. I decided to do some research. I scanned all the photos and started posting them on local Facebook groups, asking if anyone recognized the man, looking for information about someone who may have known our family in the 80s and 90s. He appears in many family photos, but we can't remember who he was. The responses were strange. "Oh my God," wrote a woman named Sarah Chen. "This same guy is in my childhood photos too. I just went through my mom's albums after seeing your post. Same jacket, same posture. He's in at least a dozen pictures of me between ages 5 and 16. Then another response. "Holy shit, me too. I thought it was just some random guy, but now that you mention it, he's in way too many of my photos for it to be a coincidence." Then another, and another. Within 24 hours, I had responses from 11 different people, all from my hometown, all born within a few years of me. All of them had found this same mysterious figure lurking in the backgrounds of their childhood photos. We started comparing notes. The man appeared most frequently at public events, birthday parties in parks, school functions, little league games, summer festivals. Always in the background, always alone, always watching. But none of our parents remembered him. None of us had any memory of actually seeing him in person. It was like he was invisible to adults, or maybe just so unremarkable that he didn't register as a threat. But he was there, documenting our childhoods, following us through our most innocent moments. That's when Jessica Martinez shared something that made my blood run cold. "I found something else," she wrote in our growing Facebook group. "I was looking through my mom's photos more carefully, and I found pictures from before I was born, my sister's birthday party in 1982. There he is, same guy, same jacket. But here's the weird part. My mom said she remembered him from that party. She said he told everyone he was the photographer's assistant there to help with the setup. But," she continued, "I called the photographer my mom hired for that party. He's still alive, still lives in town. He said he never had an assistant. He always worked alone." The group went quiet for a while after that. We were all thinking the same thing, but nobody wanted to say it out loud. This man had been deliberately inserting himself into our lives, lying to our parents, positioning himself to watch us grow up. But why? And more importantly, where was he now? That question was answered 2 days later when my neighbor knocked on my door. Mrs. Patterson is 83 years old and has lived next to my grandmother's house for 40 years. She's the kind of neighbor who notices everything. Every car that doesn't belong, every person who walks by twice, every change in routine. "I heard you were asking about that strange man from the old photos." My heart started racing. "You remember him?" "Oh yes, dear. He never fooled me for a second. I saw him at all those events over the years, always lurking around where the children were. I called the police about him 3 times, but he never actually did anything illegal. Just watched." "Do you know what happened to him? Why he stopped showing up?" "Oh, he didn't stop, dear. He just got more careful about staying hidden.
but I still see him sometimes." "What do you mean, you still see him?" "Well, he's older now, of course. Must be in his 70s. But it's definitely the same man. Same way of standing, same way of watching. He drives by the elementary school most afternoons when the children are being dismissed, parks his car across the street, and just sits there." The room started spinning. "Mrs. Patterson, this is important. Do you know where he lives?" "Oh, yes, dear. The blue house on Maple Street, 3 blocks from the school. Been living there for about 15 years, I'd say. Keeps to himself mostly, but I've seen him in his yard. Always seems to be watching when the neighborhood children play outside."